The adductor squeeze exercise, or groin squeeze, is going to strengthen the inner thigh all the way from the knee into the deep pelvic floor, or pubis, which is the bottom of your pelvis here. So it's going to get right up into the private parts in the middle of your abdomen, and we can add a lot of extra challenge and extra mindfulness by utilizing this position to also develop our pelvic floor muscles, our Kegel muscles, and even our core strength. We're going to use different tools, and you can use pretty much anything that you can find around the house that affords you the ability to squeeze those thighs together and create that neural connection of your muscles to your mind, okay? Right now I've got kind of a modified yoga block. The goal of this is to develop an isometric contraction. Isometric means that you're going to squeeze and hold. With that squeeze and hold usually comes a lot of shaking and trembling. The shaking and trembling is a good sign that you're hyperactivating and hyperloading your neural system, and time under tension becomes our friend for muscle development and strength and endurance development. So in the muscles, or in the groin squeeze, the adductor squeeze, the muscles are going to contract. I'm beginning right now, though maybe you can't see it so much. I'm going to contract, pushing that device or that item in between the knees and holding it there tight. That's one step in the exercise, and that's a good step. That's the main point, is to get these groin muscles firing. The second step is to really tighten my lower abdomen, pulling that abdomen below the belly button up and in, engaging right here really strong at my belt level. And I'm going to squeeze and hold there. Already my brain's going, oh boy, this is hard. Finally, I'm going to squeeze my potty muscles. So my whole lower portion of my pelvis and right around the family jewels and right around all those private parts I'm squeezing, and your brain gets overloaded and it's not easy, and you got to breathe while you do it, and we'll rest. This is a really tough, mindful exercise. Isometric exercise often is more difficult than isokinetic or isotonic exercise, which is where the muscles are allowed to move, that's where they're more comfortable, and they're allowed to perform their duty of shortening and lengthening. I'm going to grab a pillow this time, I'm going to ball it up, and this is going to provide me the ability to shorten and lengthen a little bit. Because it's a bit narrow, I'm going to bring my feet also in a bit more narrow. If it were a big wide pillow, that'd be okay too. Say I could get it like this. I would just need to bump my feet out a little bit, and I would be squeezing here. So we're going to demo how you can use the pillow. Essentially, I'm going to set up the same way. Good seated posture, strong positioning through the spine, and I'm going to tighten my belly, tighten my potty muscles, and then I'm going to move these little pulsing motions in and out. And I'm trying to maintain tension the whole time. Definitely easier to tense up as you drive in, but it kind of becomes a bit difficult to maintain tension as you're releasing out. So moving in and out under control and with purpose and intent is very important in this exercise. Other means of creating a little bit more of an overload or a progression would be to grab something with some mass. This is a 10-pound weighted ball or medicine ball. It's got sand in it, so it's pretty soft as well, which will save my knees a little bit. And the goal here now is to make sure the ball doesn't fall, which makes you work quite a bit more. So I'm going to place that right on the musculature on the top side, top inner corner of my knee. That's called your VMO. And that muscle there is going to be my soft spot to squeeze against. I'm again pushing those knees in, holding my position in a pretty straight line here from the knee to ankle to toe. I sit up tall, I draw my belly in, I squeeze my potty muscles, and I breathe. And oh boy, this looks simple, looks like I'm not moving very much, but if we were to zoom in here, you would see shaking and trembling and all kinds of neural activation and time under tension. If you could feel, I've got lots of work going through my core, through my lower abdomen. I've got my neural system trying to breathe as it's being hyperactivated, and this groin squeeze becomes much more difficult than it looks.